back into another episode of the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WTK's Rock Solid Sports, where we've got you covered for all things NFL with Bryson Wright, Jack Foster, Riley Holtum. I'm Joseph Bonanno, and we are through week 14 of the NFL season. Just 4 more weeks to go in this 18-week season, which I'm still got to get used to in terms of like calculating records and stuff. I keep thinking 17 weeks, 16 games.
Very difficult.
17 games always throwing me off.
Yeah, I don't like the odd number.
It's a little weird.
Definitely weird.
And the fact that we've had 2 ties this season, it's just been a long, weird season.
Yeah, it's
ready for the playoffs.
Take ties out of the NFL.
I'm not. What are you talking about?
I've also noticed it's not just us that thinks this has like been a weird season. Like,
everyone thinks it's a weird season because it has been a weird season.
It's been really weird. Like, it's not just us that's noticing it though, with us doing this whole thing where we're picking games every week and we have all this specific stuff. I saw a video on YouTube where it was like the title was "Why has this NFL season been so weird?" And I was like, wow, we also kind of picked up on that. It's been really odd.
You know? I feel like every team is like 500. Like besides like
they're either like extremely good or just mediocre.
Yeah,
it's either extremely good, mediocre, or the Texans. That's about where
basically Texans and Broncos. It's like only 3 teams have been officially eliminated, I think, so far.
Yeah, the Broncos, the Texans, and
the
Bears are the 3.
Besides that, everybody still has a chance with only 4 weeks left in the season,
which is crazy. Goofy. But, I mean, I guess it just shows kind of where the cutoff is at the best teams and then those average teams and then the really, really bad teams. And, I mean, we all know who's actually a Super Bowl contender and we know who's not and who's going to go to the playoffs and get bounced in the first round. We
thought we knew that last year, too, and then the Bengals went to the Super Bowl.
That's true. So, anything can happen. Let's jump into the week 13, or I guess the week 14 recap. We'll get things started with games of the week. Not a lot of great games in week 14. I will start off, and I am going to go the Cowboys-Texans, which you say, how the hell do the Texans have a game of the week? Well, they almost took down Dallas, which is a top 5 team in the NFL right now. They took them all the way down to the wire. Cowboys scored a touchdown with 41 seconds left. Texans got the ball back. They had an unsuccessful Hail Mary attempt at the end, but they gave the Cowboys pretty much everything that they had and almost stolen away from them. A pretty good game, back and forth. Texans took that early lead. Cowboys were able to come back, a back and forth second quarter, but then the fourth quarter, the Cowboys really kind of took control and were able to win that game. Texans showing some fights left. Jeff Driscoll got some time in this game. I believe Davis Mills went out with an injury, I believe, and Driscoll had to come in.
No, they were just doing 2 quarterbacks.
They just went 2 quarterbacks?
Yeah, they swapped. They went Driscoll, then back to Mills, then back to Driscoll, back to Mills. They were playing both all throughout the game in different scenarios.
I could have swore I saw him go down, but
no.
That's
I think he played at the very Driscoll played the last drive, but the penultimate drive for the Texans, Mills played. So they were just ping-ponging.
Interesting.
And I noticed they used Driscoll as like a run threat a little bit too.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
7 for 36 on the ground for Driscoll. So that they were trying to run a lot of options with him under center or in the shotgun and stuff. I mean,
if you look at this game, Dak Prescott did not have a great game. 284 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
No, he was terrible.
He was really, really bad. But the Cowboys rushed offense. Led by Zeke, who had 62 yards and a touchdown, and Pollard, who had 42 and a score, really kind of helped. And then obviously that defense at the end of the game, helped.
Let's be honest here. The Cowboys should not have won this game.
Let's be honest
Probably
here.
not.
No, let's be honest here. The Texans didn't want to win this game.
Yeah, they went for it on 4th and goal instead of kicking the field goal.
They could have kicked that field goal, go up 6. I mean, they probably still would have ended up losing, I guess, if Dallas
they
still
went
goes
down
down
and
scored.
a touchdown,
But still, come on.
But Houston got back into field goal range after Dallas scored to make it 27-23. But they had to score a touchdown.
Yeah, they went for the Hail Mary.
That's what I'm saying. The Texans did not want to win this game.
Totally.
Come on now.
And you had Rex Burkhead in the goal line package instead of Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
They didn't. I'm telling you, they didn't want to win.
I'm proving your point. Yeah,
they definitely could have won this game.
Lovie
no
Smith
question.
will not be the head coach of the Texans.
No, they did the same thing they did last year. They got some random guy who is pretty experienced, probably an all right players coach, threw him in for a year to suck, and then they'll just fire him. They did the same thing with David Culley.
No, see, that's the problem though. I feel like
worse than Culley.
It's hard when you only give somebody 1 year though with the roster that he had.
Yeah.
Like there was no way to success.
But Lovie
this
Smith,
year.
He's old. He's had his chances. Like he's not an NFL head coach anymore.
And listen, he doesn't have a talent on the team. He doesn't have the players have no inspiration, no motivation to go out there and win games. They just don't. They know they're getting the first overall pick, and you know what? They're playing like it. And so, but hey, it was a good fight on Sunday against the Cowboys. Almost stole one there. Should have stole one, but like you said, some poor coaching decisions led to the Cowboys win. Jack, your game of the week for this week.
Yeah, it was the game I was most excited for, and the first quarter made me just so angry because of the lack of offense. But it ended up being a pretty good game, and that's the Sunday nighter and the Dolphins and the Chargers. On paper, two bad defenses. Chargers missing Derwin James and Joey Bosa. You thought the Finns were going to be able to feast. That was not the case. The offensive line struggled a little bit, even in Teron Armstead's return. Tua was just simply bad.
3 for 17 at one point.
Yes, and the offense never seemed like they were on the same page. They looked impatient. If you notice the first two drives, I think it was throw each of the downs, and it was 2 straight 3 and out. So 6 attempts for Tua. And like Tyreek wasn't turning around for balls at some point. Jalen Waddle and Tua were not connecting. So it was just all around a really bad night. And I think most of it goes on Tua's shoulders. And then the Chargers were able to have success. They played really high conservative plays, and they just moved the ball at will against the Dolphins. And nothing jumped out to me from the Chargers performance. I expected this type of performance, but I just thought, well, yeah, I mean, Williams showed out in his return. I think they played it really conservative with his injury, and it's going to end up working out. They even limited his snaps in this game too, and he was able to do that amount of damage, over 100 yards, 1 touchdown, I believe.
Yep, the toe tap in the back of the end zone.
And just ridiculous circus catches. I mean, he's one of the most underrated receivers in the league.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of D-Hop. A guy that goes up, gets 50-50 balls.
Clemson dudes, man.
I mean, can go on the boundary and make some toe taps.
Yeah, Mike Dubb, and DeAndre, that Clemson tree right there, they're all three kind of played similar ways. But yeah, the big takeaway for me from this game is that the Chargers did not throw a game, which applaud, because they do that all the time. And they tried to. Josh Palmer nearly botched the onside kick scenario. And Justin Herbert, they almost fumbled the snap, but Herbert was smart enough to recover that fumble. So two different ways they could have potentially lost that game. They didn't. So they didn't Charger guys. And that's a good thing to see from LA. But the Dolphins, man, an opportunity to go 9-4 and to, just stay in that top spot at the wild card race, and then you drop this game, your playoff chances could be in jeopardy moving down the stretch.
I think you said it best the other day. They just they didn't look prepared. They didn't look ready.
No.
They looked like they could just go in and walk in and take care of business, and they weren't able to.
It's not just their playoff chances though. This might put them out of the running for the division.
Yeah, I feel like it's a long shot now. 2 games down.
Yeah, 2 games down. But the thing is, right, if they had won last week, all they would have had to do was beat the Bills next week, and they would have controlled their own destiny for the rest of the season. Now they don't.
And yeah, so this was just an all-around bad performance. And I kind of wanted to touch on this. If you go back earlier in the season, the 49ers played the Panthers in Carolina. They dominated, but then they didn't go back to the West Coast. They stayed in the East Coast and practiced there in preparation for a road trip against Atlanta. They go into Atlanta and they lay an egg. The defense lays an egg. The offense was terrible. Worst game of the Niners season. Atlanta dominates and wins. The Dolphins last week headed to Santa Clara to play the Niners. They lost handedly, and then they didn't go back to Miami. They stayed in the West Coast, and you're like, okay, not a bunch of, fly this way, fly that way. Should be good, right? Well, when you don't have your own facilities and just your own routine, it probably throws you a little off rhythm. And I think the Dolphins just thought they could come in here and feast on a bad Chargers defense that was feisty and ready to play, actually, and caught them by surprise, impatient, unprepared. They lost. Yeah,
not a bad showing from the Chargers. Pretty bad showing from the Dolphins. There was that fun little play with Tyreek where the ball squirted out between like 15 people, and then he picked it up and just ran around the other side. Got the touchdown on fantasy. Didn't get the points for the yards though. Right. But it was a pretty cool play there. And you know what a game that started off bad ended up being decent.
And you mentioned that kind of fluke play. Like the game was 6 points. If that fluke play doesn't happen, the Chargers kind of blow them out. Yeah. So it really was a dominant Chargers performance.
Yeah. Bryson, your game of the week for week 14.
So for mine, I picked the Ravens and the Steelers, not necessarily because of how great the game was, but just because it was so chaotic. I feel like you didn't really know what was going to happen coming into this game. You start with a backup quarterback on the Ravens side, and then Kenny Pickett gets a concussion in the first quarter of the game. Mitch Trubisky comes in, and it's like Mitch Trubisky looked really good on all the plays that weren't interceptions. So like when he wasn't throwing interceptions, he looked awesome. But he threw 3 interceptions. Like you take the interceptions out, I know that's a big thing. Like he's 22 out of 27 for almost 300 yards without those interceptions. And I honestly think without those interceptions, they win the game.
Yeah.
So it was just a really interesting game. But how about Tyler Huntley? I know that 2 quarterbacks played this game, but not necessarily having to do a lot like stat wise, but just coming in and not losing the game, because that's all they're asking him to do.
Yeah,
he's just coming in and doing enough. So shout out to him.
J.K. Dobbins in his return off IR, 15 carries, 120 yards and a touchdown.
Yes, he was really the difference in this game too.
He didn't look good though. Like
he looked slower, but he still was making good cuts and he had really good vision.
But did you see, like, it was that long run where he could have had a touchdown there.
I mean,
but it looked like he was
continuing to work his way back.
Yeah, it looked like he was limping the entire time he was running.
He has had 2 knee injuries back-to-back years now.
But I'm just saying he doesn't.
He's still trying to get over that, and
he doesn't look like himself.
Knee injuries are hard to come back, especially for running backs, especially running back like J.K. Dobbins, who makes quick cuts, will go and put his shoulder into somebody. But yeah, news for Tyler Huntley. He's in the concussion protocol. So his status for next week is up in the air. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's status with the leg injury is also up in the air. So you could see Anthony Brown make a start for the Ravens week 15.
Which that could be really interesting.
It could be really interesting. And then on the other side, Mitch Trubisky, obviously probably going to be the starter next week with Kenny Pickett in concussion protocol with all the concerns about concussions so far this season. And Riley, your game of the week for week 14.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders and the Rams. Thursday night football, primetime Baker, the return of Baker Mayfield. Who would have thought,
That 98-yard drive to end the game, was just, he got helped out by a lot of penalties, some uncharacteristic mistakes from Raiders defense. I know their offense has been abysmal this year in terms of making mistakes. The defense has usually been pretty solid. Some pretty bad mistakes there kept Baker alive, and he made him pay for it.
Yeah, Baker, pretty good game, through good completion percentage, good yardage. Cam Akers, 12 carries for only 42 yards and a touchdown.
How about Cam Akers? The return of Akers after all that crap that went down at the beginning of the season, the whole trade rumors, we're not going to trade him, we're going to bench him.
He hasn't been real that good, but
the past 2 weeks
he's been used. But he had a bad fumble in this game. Let's be honest.
Past 2 weeks,
they just have no one else, and I think that Sean McVay just continues to give him chances, and hopefully he can catch on and become.
They have to
what he was supposed to be. Yeah, this offense is still bad, guys. Like. The Raiders threw this game in the second half. Derek Carr
literally threw it away.
Wait, 2 of 7 in the second half or something?
Wait, there's no way the Raiders threw a game away. There's no way.
Oh yeah, you mean the only team in I think the only team in NFL history that's had 4 losses where they led by double digits at halftime. They're 0-4. I think the first team in NFL history to do that, which is an insane stat. Double digits at halftime, and you're 0-4 in those games. That is absolutely ridiculous.
The one bright spot for them, Josh Jacobs getting 27 carries, 99 yards, couldn't break the triple-digit mark, but still, Josh Jacobs, he's still kind of doing his thing.
Yeah, and he did it banged up too. You saw that. What was it? His wrist or something?
Mm-hmm. He had some with his hand, and still went out there, still put up nearly triple-digit numbers with a touchdown. So yeah, shout out Josh Jacobs. That was pretty good performance from him.
Yeah, this Raiders second half performance was just abysmal. But hey, if you got to go 98 yards still, if you're the Rams there at the end, and they did it. Granted, I don't know if you guys watched it, but Max Crosby was held like half a dozen times on that drive, and they didn't call it.
Listen, the holding calls.
Wait, are you saying the script got leaked?
Dude, I don't know, man. He was held. There's some pictures on Twitter if you go look. It is pretty bad holds.
It's there's pictures like that. I mean, look at Jeffrey Simmons of the Titans. He's been held his entire career. Like,
Man,
let's
they
be
could call
But
holding on every play
they
if they
really
really
could.
wanted to.
They
But
really
that's how you
could.
know that the NFL referees are cheating.
But I mean, yeah, just Raiders in the second half, 3-and-out, 11 plays, 31 yards, culminated in a field goal, 3-and-out, pick. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
bad
What are you doing?
offense. Josh McDaniels definitely he doesn't know how to be a head coach. He doesn't know how to.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be the offensive coordinator and the head coach, and it's just way too much for him. And he's getting too complicated. Obviously, the players are not prepared going into these games. He's just not ready to be a head coach.
Can't finish.
And he never has been ready to be a head coach. Go stick as an OC and have a successful career with Bill Belichick. Oh wait, you threw that away to go suck.
Dang. Hold up.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait, what was your
Whoa.
stat? 4 double-digit leads, right?
0-4 when leading by double digits at halftime this season.
Yeah, you
That's
just can't
rough.
do that.
Dude,
Yeah.
nah, that's crazy.
And they're still 5-8. Like, their season could be pretty dang good right now.
All right, let's look at the rest of the games. The Bills take down the Jets 20-12. The Bengals take down the Browns in an ugly game. That game was not pretty. They win that one 23-10. The Lions down at the Vikings 34-23. They come out and shock the Minnesota team, who now drops to 10-3. Lions playoff chances rising. The
We'll talk
Titans
about it.
Not even
fall
just
to-
rising.
Titans fall to the Jaguars 36-22 in an embarrassing loss. The Eagles beat the Giants. They bashed them 48-22, an absolute manslaughter there. The Chiefs and the Broncos, solid game. Surprised no one picked this as game of the week. 34-28. Broncos tried to make a late push there, not able to do anything with Russ. They get eliminated from the playoffs. The 49ers throttled the Bucs 35-7. Brock Purdy is that man. The Panthers beat the Seahawks in a close one, 30-24. And on Monday Night Football, the Patriots taking down the Cardinals with ease, 27-13. News out of that game: Kyler Murray officially torn ACL, out for the rest of the season. It'll be Colt
Tough one,
McCoy
man.
for the Cardinals going on the final 4 weeks. On bye last week, it was the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, the Colts, the Saints, and the Commanders. So bye Mageddon for some fantasy teams out there.
The reason I didn't pick a game like Chiefs Broncos for game of the week is because I like, at this point in the season, I like my game of the week to have like implications.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it did.
Like-
It did have implications. Broncos got eliminated.
Well, you know what I mean.
I could have told you that 6 weeks ago, my boy.
I mean, the Chiefs are still the 2 seed, like, so, but yeah. And then back to Kyler. Yeah, that's just gutting, man.
Yeah.
Really sucks for him. Banged up season, Cardinals 4-9, and then just throw that on top of it. Hope
Yeah.
he can have a speedy recovery.
Winners and losers for week 14. I'll start off. I'm going my winner, Sam Darnold. He is now 2-0 as the Panthers starting quarterback so far this season, since they released Baker and PJ Walker's gotten hurt, and he's taken over. He hasn't been putting up like fantastic stats, like eye-popping, like second overall worth stats like you would expect. But you know what? He's not throwing away the games. He looks like a decent starting NFL quarterback right now. The Panthers under interim head coach Steve Wilks are playing like a playoff team. And guess what? Sam Darnold has them. They are. They're playing with fire. They're playing like they have something to play for, and they do, because they still have a chance to win that division, and they still have a chance to make it to the NFC playoffs.
Only team in the NFC South that controls their own destiny. Do you know that?
Who, the Panthers?
Yep. If they win out, they're in.
Wow.
I mean,
that's-
Listen, listen, Sam Darnold. Listen, I didn't say that eye-popping stats. He had 120 yards at a touchdown, but he went 14 of 24. It's a pretty solid completion percentage. I mean, they're not eye-popping. He didn't throw an interception. He didn't throw the game away. Obviously, the run game was really working. The Seahawks couldn't stop the run to save their life. But Sam Darnold, 2-0, and he's lit some kind of fire under this team with head coach Steve Wilks. Now, I believe in the Panthers. I think they're starting to turn to a fun team. I think they can win that division. The Bucs look awful. I don't believe in the Saints offense at all. And the Falcons just got rid of Marcus Mariota for a rookie quarterback who hasn't played all season, and you don't know what the hell you're going to get out of that.
They do have Logan Woodside now, though.
Oh, God.
Shut up. Shut up.
Riley,
But do you listen? do you guys see there is some belief for the Panthers
No,
to win
yeah.
that division?
I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not because I believe in the Panthers, just because I don't believe in the Buccaneers.
Correct.
That's why I believe in the Panthers.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
I think
and
the
listen,
Seahawks
this
are
is,
slipping.
This
and
is the rest of
they
their
just took
schedule.
advantage.
They have at Pittsburgh versus Pittsburgh. They get Pittsburgh at home. They're going to face Mitchell Trubisky. They have a Panthers.
They should win.
Panthers have a really good defense. J.C. Horn, is that the quarterback?
J.C. Horn had a
He
great
went off.
game.
He went off against the Seahawks. He's going to feast on Mitch Trubisky. Their toughest test right now is versus Detroit at home. I don't know if they win that game. I probably doubt they win that game. But other than that, they go to Tampa and to New Orleans, two teams who are playing like crap. So, very good chance for the Panthers there, and that's why Sam Darnold's my winner. My loser, I'm going to turn it over to my own team, the Tennessee Titans. First time they lost to Jacksonville at home in 9 years. First time they've lost to Jacksonville in the past 3 years. They haven't. I mean, they've swept Jacksonville ever since 2019, I believe, 2018, something like that.
Well, the end of the Bortles era.
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy, and then all of a sudden the Titans, they just fall apart. They fired their general manager last week. They're looking to have some fire underneath them, try to get some spirits up, try to win some more games, try to continue dominating that division. And Jacksonville just comes out and just absolutely beats the crap out of the Titans. And Tennessee had every chance to win this game, or at least to keep this game a game. But 4 turnovers, letting Zay Jones make a ridiculous circus catch at the end of the half, fumbling at the end of the half as well. Derrick Henry fumbling, just a really bad game for the Titans, really ugly game, uncharacteristic game from a Mike Vrabel team. So the Titans are my loser for this week because they played like crap.
Yeah.
Awesome pick.
What?
Awesome pick.
Awesome pick for loser of the week because
Bryson?
that Titans
Oh,
game was very
I wanted to say-
sickening.
I wanted to say Bryson said it best on Rock Solid Sports on Monday night, but yeah, that the difference in this game was the last drive of the first half and the first drive of the second half from Jacksonville. That 14-point swing Titans couldn't recover from
It was
that.
a
And it took
difference
them
in
out
the
of their
game.
game plan. They couldn't run the ball as much as they would want to down 14. Granted, I thought they should have stuck with the run a little bit more, but not 96 yards for Derrick Henry in the first half, and he had in the first quarter, and then he had 2 yards in the entirety of the second half.
Yeah.
And Lawrence just got hot, man. I mean, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL since week 9. I said it on the show last night. He's just killing it. 10 touchdowns over that span, 0 picks. This is a guy that has made mistake after mistake after mistake in his NFL career. It's all mental, right? You know, but now he's starting to overcome that. Jags are starting to win some key games. Can they keep it up down the stretch? We'll get into that when we talk about playoff picture here in a bit. But yeah. So
Jack, you want to do your winner and loser?
yeah, so the Jags would be my winner, but we're going to talk about them a little later on the show. I think they're a huge winner from this week. But I'm going to go a different route, and I'm going to go to the NFC with the Lions. This was a huge, huge divisional win for the Lions over the Vikings, winning 34-23. I thought the Vikings were we all picked the Lions, right?
No, I picked the Vikings, yep.
So, yeah, the Lions were hot, playing at home. You felt this coming. You felt a Minnesota slip-up coming as well. But, man, the Lions are just a complete offense right now, and their defense is improving week in and week out by a lot. Their run defense especially.
Yes.
I think you can go a little more specific and say Jared Goff.
Well, you look all across this offense, right? They got Jamison Williams back. First off, big, deep threat. He catches a touchdown on his first NFL catch. DJ Chark is back in the lineup now. He's healthy, looking like he can make some explosive plays. And then, of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best slot guys in the league right now. And then the run game with the two-headed monster of Swift and Williams. Granted, they didn't jump out at you in the stat sheet in this game, but they are a very, very solid running back duo. And then, as you mentioned, Joseph, Jared Goff, he's kind of the NFC version of Trevor Lawrence right now, right? A guy we don't expect to ball, and now he's balling 27 of 39 for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game against Minnesota.
It's funny.
Ooh-wee.
Jared Goff kind of saved his career by going to Detroit.
Yes.
And I don't think I don't think anyone would have expected those words to come out
right
of my
now.
mouth.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously
I don't wanna
the
overreact.
Rams still won the trade because they got a Super Bowl. But coming out 2 years like this season, Jared Goff was definitely better than Matthew Stafford.
I'm just
Yeah, who's
thinking.
gonna make the
I'm just
playoffs?
thinking purely at Jared Goff. He saved his career. He was about to become backup quarterback central after his awful, abysmal final seasons at LA. And then he gets over into Detroit. He gets a new head coach. They put a lot of faith in him. He doesn't play terrible last year, but he doesn't play great. He comes this year firing. Looks like that Jared Goff of his, I guess, his sophomore year.
Yeah, when they
sophomore year
went
in
to the
league.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
and
When they went
lost.
to the Super Bowl, he looks like that again. And so credit to Jared Goff. He's a little
Give-
more specific for the Lions.
Give me the Lions in the playoffs.
Well, that's what. Yeah,
Lock-
let's touch
lock
on
it
that
in.
real quick. If you look at this Lions team, they're 6-7, a game and a half, I believe, out of the playoffs right now because the Giants and the Commanders are 7-5-1, and then the Seahawks are 7-6, one game ahead of them. But the Lions' schedule rest of the way. 3 of the 4 teams remaining have a losing record, and the Packers, Panthers, and the Bears. All of those should be very winnable games for Detroit. They get the Jets this week in New York. Jets are coming in this matchup banged up, so maybe they can catch them at one of their lowest points of the season. So the Lions have a very real chance of winning out. I actually am going to pick them to win out. I don't foresee myself picking them to lose a game the rest of the way. And 10-7 is going to make the playoffs in the NFC.
I was gonna say, do we remember earlier
yes.
this year?
Yeah, we can go back to week 4, 3,
Something
whatever
like
it
that.
is.
It was way early.
Riley dumbly predicted that the Lions are going to win 10 games. And at the time, it seemed absurd. And then in the following weeks, they lost like 4 in a row. We're 1-6. And I'm like, hey, Riley, remember when you did that? Now look, they've won 5 of their past 6, and they are 6-7 in prime position to make a playoff push. So, Riley, I am sorry. You may have end up being correct.
Let's do this week. Well, when the Lions get their 10th win, Riley's going to be my winner of the week.
Yeah, that'll be after week 18. And you know what? Their 10th win, if it happens, will be in Lambeau. So
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Your loser of the week.
let's see. My loser of the week is going to be the Seattle Seahawks, another NFC team in playoff contention. They're 7-5, hosting the Panthers, who have not had a good year. We kind of talked about they're on the up and up right now, and they proved that by beating the Seahawks. Now you look at the Seahawks' chances, losing 30-24 against a team like the Panthers, when you could have gone 8-5 and still been a game behind the 49ers for the division lead, well within the grasp of making the playoffs. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I still am confident that Pete Carroll and Geno Smith in this squad is going to be good enough to win some games down the stretch, but this is going to hurt, guys. And, Geno didn't really have a great game. He had 3 touchdowns, 260 yards, but he had 2 picks that were pretty just awful looking. The Seahawks are banged up now with no running game. The defense is continuing to struggle. I don't know how complete they are. And with teams like the Lions playing really well, Washington, the Giants are still super physical. I don't know if it's going to be in the cards for the Seahawks moving forward.
I wouldn't write them off yet. It was a bad game against a team that's got some fire and got something to play for.
Hey, you can't write off Geno.
Hey,
By now.
Well, after those 2 picks, Geno, he said after week 1, they wrote me off. I ain't right back. I think he may have put his name on the paper now. Maybe he's written the first sentence of writing back, but he's still not into the body of writing back, right?
Yeah.
Like he's just maybe starting, but doesn't mean he has to finish.
Yeah. Bryson, your winners and losers of week 14.
Well, my winner, very easy one, Baker Mayfield. You get called up. Dude was probably staying in a Motel 6 the night before the game. He hasn't even moved to San Francisco yet.
Well,
Yeah.
he booked his flight before they picked him up off waivers.
Yeah.
That's how crazy. But he knew that Sean McVay was going to go grab him.
I don't know why I said San Francisco. I meant LA, but still. Yeah, kind of crazy that he booked his flight. He pulled up. It's a short week for anybody, especially for somebody that gets picked up. And then you're down by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and you come out in 2 super huge drives to win that game. So shout out to Baker Mayfield. I think he was like the easy winner of the week. Great story. This is stuff that you see in like movies. This is not stuff that's supposed to happen in real life. And then if I'm going for my loser of the week, it has to be easily the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because Tampa Bay, this is a team, you have Tom Brady in, well, which may or may not be his last season. Who knows at this point, but you have somebody who's supposed to be the greatest of all time at quarterback, and you have a really solid defense. And coming into this season, you're supposed to, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, you're supposed to. I'm talking about what you're supposed to have. You got Tom Brady and a solid defense. That should be good enough to where in a weak NFC South, this is the weakest division in football. I know that they'll still probably win the division, but they should be running away with this division right now. And I don't trust them in the playoffs, even with Tom Brady. I don't think that they're going to be like even if they do end up winning the division, I don't think they make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, when the other team's starting quarterback's family comes to see Tom Brady instead of their own son because they didn't expect their son to start, but they made the trip to the game to see Tom Brady originally, and then Tom Brady loses to that rookie by 30 points. Yeah, there's something going wrong, and you deserve to be the loser for that week. Bucks get embarrassed by the Niners, and Brock Purdy, like I mentioned, is him. How about that Shanahan system,
Mr. Relevant.
How about that Shanahan system, though? You can plug and play almost any system like quarterback, and they're going to go out there and ball. Riley, winners and losers for week 14.
So both my winner and my loser for this week come from the same game. A game that had a lot of storylines going into it, a lot of comparisons between these two guys. Justin Herbert is my winner, and Tua Tagovailoa is my loser.
Lure.
Tua Tagovailoa is my loser. You look at the difference between these two and their stats this game. Justin Herbert, 39 of 51 for 367 yards and a touchdown. Tua, 10 of 28 for 145 yards and a touchdown. Wasn't even comparable. All of the offense from this game for Miami came from one person. It was Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill cleaning up the mistakes of Tua. Tyreek Hill picking up that fumble and running for however many yards it was, 40 yards and a touchdown. With the Chargers, Justin Herbert spread out the ball. A lot of receptions for Keenan Allen. 12 receptions for Keenan Allen for only 92 yards. 6 receptions for Mike Williams. Like you were saying earlier, he had a great game. So yeah, Justin Herbert, I think, finally proved in this game he is better than Tua Tagovailoa.
1,000%.
There's hardly an argument now. Manuel Acho got embarrassed, beat the social media quarterback.
They wouldn't even let him on the field. They didn't give him a field pass.
He beat the social media. He beat the social media quarterback allegations. Justin Herbert, you are my winner. Tua, for sucking, you are my loser.
Yeah, really bad game from Tua. Like I said, 3 for 17 at one point, finished 10 for 28 or whatever it was. It was not good.
Oh,
not
it's
good,
terrible.
not
Outside
good
of a
for Tua.
60-yard bomb to Tyreek, how many yards does he have? Like 50?
Not a lot. It was
even that, dude. It was really bad.
Outside of that one bomb, he would have had like 80 yards.
80 yards. Yeah, he had
145.
So he would have had 85.
Man,
that's terrible.
Bad game from Tua, and I think he just blew his MVP chances there. He was in the conversation, definitely just blew it, especially with 4 weeks to go. I mean, he's gonna have to have like some insane weeks, like another 600-yard week, something crazy.
And I hate to always give awards like this to the best quarterback on the best team, but like it's Jalen Hurts' award now, isn't it? I feel like it has to be.
Mahomes.
I would say so.
It's either Mahomes or Hurts.
But Mahomes threw 3 picks against Denver. Like Jalen Hurts, week in, week out, has been the best player on the field.
It's one of those two. I think Hurts has the edge right now just because of what he brings with his legs and what team he's on.
Yeah, and like the Mahomes 60-yard touchdown to Jerick McKinnon, like give me a break, dude. Did you see it?
Yeah, where he underhanded it with 3 defenders on him.
Yeah,
because he's a wizard.
That's just stupid.
He's a wizard, and that's why he wins the MVP, because he makes plays like that on a consistent basis. It's not he did this one time back in 2017 in his rookie year.
Insane talent.
He has like 18 of these plays every single year.
I know.
It is over and over and over again that Mahomes is making these ridiculous arm angle throws. These ridiculous.
He literally just flipped it.
I have 10 defenders on me, but hey, I'm gonna look at the wide open receiver way down the field that I see in the I see in the eyes at the back of my head and just throw it over my head, and he's gonna catch it and run for a touchdown. I'm gonna throw it to Travis Kelce, who's got 5 people on him. I'm gonna put it in such a tight window, underhanded, that it's gonna look incredible. He's a wizard, man. It's incredible.
I mean, I would be fine with him getting the award. I would, but I feel like it should be.
I think
Jalen has earned it.
I think Hurts has earned it, but if you're picking 2 guys, it's between Hurts and Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. So I think Mahomes is reaching the point to where, not to say that this is something that you should do, but when somebody gets so good, when you get into MVP conversations, it seems like sometimes they're just like, okay, that's Mahomes. He does this every year.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to find another guy.
It almost feels like you're trying. Like I always go to the NBA. LeBron could have won MVP every damn year, but they don't do that because that would have been boring.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to look for other people. That's why I think, not to say that Hurts doesn't deserve it, because I think he would deserve it, but I still think that Mahomes probably has been the better player.
I think that's fair to say.
I guess. But man,
It's debatable,
It
but
hurts
it's
has been
fair
on
to say.
fire.
Okay,
But they both like
listen.
It's so hard. I mean, it's like picking between your two favorite things. It's not like
Mahomes-
either is bad.
Mahomes also does everything he does with
Juju Smith-Schuster.
just Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
That is
Kelsey,
true. I
Juju,
mean, you look at what
yeah.
Hurts has. Miles Sanders, who's coming into his own this year.
Yeah.
There's
AJ
Brown, Devontae Smith. Hell,
Goddard most
Yeah,
of the year.
Goddard. Hell, Quez Watkins has been a solid wide receiver
Yeah.
3 for them. But
and
listen,
their defense is solid too.
defense-
Yeah.
defense crazy, best
O-line.
offensive line in the NFL right now. I
They're
mean,
just a great team. So
great
maybe
team.
Mahomes is probably more of the reason.
I think
the Chiefs
Mahomes
are
has better
succeeding.
passing stats
Like,
right now. I think.
This is what I'll say, right?
Hurts has
If
the
you're
legs.
saying most valuable player, I'm thinking it might be Mahomes, because if you take Mahomes off the Chiefs, they're horrible. Now, I'm not saying that just any quarterback can come in and do what Jalen Hurts has done. That's not the case. But I do think that it would be the Eagles would be better with a different quarterback than
that's a good
the
point.
Chiefs would be with a different quarterback. Now, they would still both be worse.
Good
That's not a
point.
question. But I think
you
the Chiefs-
imagine? Hold up. Imagine you put Mahomes on the Eagles.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, but like it's not.
they'd probably be 12-1.
And their
too.
offensive philosophy is geared toward this kind of ball, so it's different.
Yeah.
You know, Andy Reid is just that whole offense is way
Yeah.
different. So it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to our final segment of recapping Week 14, Dogs of the Week. I will start. I'm going to go to a team that is not going to be playing for anything the rest of the year except a higher draft pick, because that's all they can look forward to. And I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy.
No, they can't look forward to that because Seattle has it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. They don't have a first round pick because they traded
They'll
away
be
for
playing
their
to lower Seattle's
Yeah.
draft pick. That's what they're doing right now.
Jerry Jeudy, who had a fantastic game, 8 catches for 73 yards and 3 scores. Haven't really seen a breakout game from Jerry Jeudy like this in a while. And he did it against a really tough Chiefs team. Not just that their defense is tough, but the fact that it's the Chiefs and just all the success that comes with playing Kansas City. Jerry Jeudy made Russell Wilson look good for once this season. Breakout game, the 3 scores, 8 of 9 on catching. Pretty impressive day. Jerry Jeudy, you're my dog of the week.
Yeah, and this was Wilson's best game. It sucks he got a concussion at the end, because I think the Broncos could have made this interesting.
Yeah.
But not that they didn't.
Bryson, dog of the week.
The dog of the week, and also Riley, I don't care what you say, the best wide receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson, 11 catches for 223 yards this week, including a 47-yarder that was just incredible. And I think there was one play where I thought he scored a touchdown and they called it back.
Yeah.
I think they said that a Lions player touched him while the Lions player
It was like
was out
down.
of bounds.
It was like down, right? Or it was like on the boundary, right?
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I don't think that that Justin Jefferson was ever out of bounds. I think it was because he was touching somebody that was out of bounds.
It was like
yeah.
it was like a
Yeah, it was
technical
like something
rule.
weird.
Yeah,
But if that had actually been a touchdown, he would have gone for 260 and a tutty. So like that would have been a crazy week. But dog of the week for sure. I know they lost, but incredible game.
Kirk Cousins had like 400 yards and 223 of those went to Justin Jefferson. I mean, come on, best wide receiver in the league. Best
Not
wide
even
receiver
close.
in the league. Jack, dog of the week.
Oh, he's thrown at the peace sign. Oh, that's so cheesy.
no, I was saying number 2,
Oh, gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I
I
was
thought
not
you were
throwing
doing
at
the
the peace sign.
trademark Tyreek
but it
thing.
also kind of works,
Hey,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
Hey,
also kinda
hop
works.
Hop off that man. All right. Who's your dog of the week?
Oh, it's Trevor Lawrence, because everyone knew it was going to be that. There's no other answer. 1-6, baby. Balling out in Nashville in the Volunteer State, taking down the division foe in the Tennessee Titans, 36-22, scored 4 total touchdowns. Count it. Over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. And actually, Doug Peterson said after the game that rushing touchdown was not a read. It was not an option at all. Like, it was a straight up handoff up the middle with Travis Etienne. Lawrence saw the corner come in, and he just took it himself, dove into the end zone for a touchdown. And man, what a performance from Trevor Lawrence. And it's not just this game, guys. As I said earlier, one of the best players in the NFL since week 9. He is just balling out 1,362 passing yards, 10 tuds, 0 picks, 72% completion percentage, and a 112 pass rating. Those are respectively first and second.
How
in
many
the league.
fumbles has he had in that time?
Like under 3. No, I can tell you, it might actually be 0.
Under 3.
I mean, there hasn't been a game where you're like, man, Lawrence.
I was just curious because that's been one of his big issues. Has been fumbles.
Well, he had 4 in one game in like week 4. Like since
and
then,
that's pretty bad.
This is what I'll say.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna point to.
Hold up,
really.
time out. Hold up, guys. I have to say it. This is not officially something we do. I owe you an apology. I was not familiar with your game. Player of the week is Trevor Lawrence because that man was in fact on fire. I can't even lie. I gotta agree with Jack.
He said 0, by the way.
The only reason
Really?
why I didn't pick Trevor Lawrence myself is because I knew that this guy right here had to pick him.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jack. Shout out to the Jaguars. They played a great game. I think Trevor Lawrence, like you said, he has been one of the best players over the last couple weeks.
Shout out Evan Ingram too on the Jags.
Yes, he had a crazy game.
Yeah, and Zay Jones, dude, they were making crazy catches, and Lawrence was putting it in the right places. Wait, I got to say 2 things: best quarterback in his division, best quarterback in his draft class. I'll rest at that.
Oh, I'll definitely
Second
give
best
you
in the draft class.
No,
I'll definitely
Nope, not at all.
The division is not even a question.
Who do you
He's saying
have
Justin
above
Fields.
Fields.
Nope.
I'm taking.
I like
Fields.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
But
Not.
I mean, obviously
hold
with
on.
the recency bias, yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay,
but
hold up. Make your arguments. Better in the 2021 draft class?
Mhm.
Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence?
I'm gonna take Justin Fields because I like what he offers. I like what he's developing into. He's not a finished product at all, and he's not on a very good team at all. But you could say the same things about Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence is having, like you said, the better since week 10? Is that what it was?
9.
Week 9. He's having a better season since that time. And but obviously, Justin Fields had the issue with his shoulder that he was playing through in those games. So I like what Justin Fields offers. I'm not ready to move off of him yet in favor of Trevor Lawrence. I want to see Trevor Lawrence continue this, finish the season out. If Trevor Lawrence can make the playoffs, I think that kind of cements him as the better one out of the two because of his performance this season. I'm just saying I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm still in the camp of Justin Fields for now. I could easily change my mind by the end of the season, though.
All right, I respect your argument. I just don't think Justin Fields is that great of a passer, and he has Houdini runs all the time to make his stats just crazy, and that's what's keeping Bears in games. He has these 60, 70-yard touchdown runs, and yeah, that's great. He's a terrific athlete and far and away the second best. But I just think defenses will end up figuring that out, and I feel like it's a little fluky right now. And Trevor Lawrence, man, he is just on point through the air. He's a much better passer. He can do it with his legs too, not to the level Fields can, but all around, he's the better player. And you talk about the weapons. I mean, let's not forget, Zay Jones and Evan Ingram were nobodies, and then they just come to Jags, and it's this ragtag group. You only got Christian Kirk, who also never really was a great receiver in Arizona, and all 3 of them are having career years. And Travis Etienne has been hit or miss. Like, the Jags offense isn't great. Now, next year, when he gets Calvin Ridley, it's full systems go. But right now, I don't think you can just point out the argument that Lawrence has better weapons, because it's not that much of an advantage.
It's more than
an
just
advantage.
the weapons.
It's an advantage, but it's not that much of an advantage. And I also...
The offensive line is another big issue. Trevor Lawrence,
Jags' all line has been really good.
Trevor Lawrence has an offensive line.
stretch.
The Bears do not have an offensive line
That is true.
at all.
Whatsoever.
And that's why he has to have all these Houdini runs, is because he's getting hit in the backfield literally every other play. He can't get away from anybody. And the fact that he can get out of those, it's impressive. He's like Lamar Jackson, if with a better runner than Lamar Jackson, a lesser passer. I think he's a better runner.
I mean,
than
Lamar was doing
Yeah.
this in 2018. How soon we forget? You know why? Because defense has kind of figured it out a little bit too.
Well, Lamar's
minimize
also
those huge plays.
Lamar's also gone to more of a passing. He's gone to more of a passing
Yeah,
game.
he doesn't run as much as he
Yeah,
did.
just runs it less. Yeah.
Honestly, like I think it's a tough question because you mentioned the fact that Justin Fields has that added ability of if the offensive line just collapses, he might still score a 60-yard touchdown. But honestly, I do think, I mean, if you look at the stats, it's Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah,
And as long as-
It's like that's
He's just way more efficient.
That's why I specifically said I like what Justin Fields offers. It's not all there yet. It's not on the field yet, but I like the ability that he has, and his passing has steadily improved. Like, we can't
he's
forget
getting
that.
better. And I don't think Jack is saying that Justin Fields is a horrible quarterback.
Yeah, no.
Like, you know what I mean? But I think, I mean, if you look at the stats through this year, Trevor Lawrence has been the best quarterback of the class.
Yeah.
All right, Riley, your dog of the week, just real quick.
Yeah, dog of the week. I could have gone with either Jalen Hurts or Miles Sanders. I decided to go with Miles Sanders. Had one of his best games of the year. 17 carries, only 17 carries for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. Didn't run the ball very much, even though they were up 26. But 8.5 yards per carry. Great game for Miles Sanders. He's kind of settling into his own, proving that he can be that number one back. There were questions after the abysmal, what was it, fantasy? He had an abysmal fantasy year last year or something.
Yeah, it's because he didn't get used.
Yeah, he was underutilized in that offense. He's finally kind of settled into his role. He's getting the carries and he's making things out of it. So yeah, shout out Miles Sanders.
Shout out Miles Sanders. Big game for him on that Eagles offense that is just so incredible. And with that, before we head into looking at week 15, let's take a look at the current playoff picture with 4 weeks left to go in this season. We'll start with the AFC. It's the Bills at the 1 seed at 10-3. Number 2, it's the Chiefs at 10-3. And number 3, it's the Ravens at 9-4, and the 4 seed is the Titans at 7-6. All of those currently leading their division. Then in the wild card, it's the Cincinnati Bengals at the 5th seed. They're 9-4 with a chance to take down the Ravens, and with no Lamar Jackson and no Tyler Huntley, Bengals could end up stealing that division quickly. Then it's the Dolphins still holding on in the wild card. They're in the 6th seed at 8-5. Like we said, probably not going to be able to win that division, but still has a pretty solid chance at the wild card. And then on the 7th seed, it's the Patriots moving up into the playoffs at 7-6 after taking down the Cardinals. And then on the edge, it's the Chargers at 7-6, the Jets at 7-6, and the Jags, if they can win out, they're at 5-8 with a very outside chance. Their best chance will be to win the division. Over in the NFC, it's the Eagles in first place. They already clinched a playoff spot, I believe. Yes, they're the only team that's clinched a playoff spot already. They're 12-1, first place in the NFC East. It's the Vikings at 2 at 10-3, the Niners at 3 and 9-4, and the Bucks with a losing record, but still on top of that NFC South division at 6-7. The Cowboys start off the wild card at 10-3. It's the Commanders at 7-5-1 at 6, and the Giants at 7-5-1 at 7. That little duo right there is going to change soon as the Commanders and the Giants do play in week 15. So we could see one of these teams move up, and that's the Seahawks. Oh, if they tied again, that'd be insane. The Seahawks moving up, they're at 7-6. The Lions could move up at 6-7, and then the Packers are a fringe team, much like the Jaguars, at 5-8. And then the Panthers, they have an outside chance. Same with the Falcons. If whoever wins that division is getting in, obviously, but they still all have a chance at the division. So yeah, that's the playoff picture through week 14. Which was crazy. You know how crazy week 14 was?
How crazy?
The crazy thing, the only team in the AFC, or no, not week 14, the past 2 weeks, or I think it was week 13, after week 13, from week 13 to week 14, the only team that didn't change their standings in the playoff were the Jets in terms of seeding. Obviously, that changed last week again. So the AFC is just a moving picture, just back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. And I don't think we're done seeing moving. I think the Chiefs could still overcome the Bills. That Bills offense doesn't really give me a lot of hope right now.
Chiefs have the better chance of winning out.
So. Yeah. The Ravens, like I said, could drop out into the wild card. The Titans could drop out of the playoffs altogether. You could see
Chargers and
the Chargers
Jets.
come up. The Jets could still come up. The Jags could still come up. I mean, it's just crazy how wild the AFC is. But then you look at the NFC, it's kind of boring. The Eagles, the Vikings, and I think the 49ers are all pretty much locks on their division right now.
If they beat Seattle on Thursday night, I think they clinched division.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're pretty much close to being locks for their division. But then after that, I mean, you got about 7 teams that have a chance to get in. But nothing really exciting. I mean, look at the drop off here. Cowboys are the 5th seed at 10-3, and you go to the Commanders at 7-5-1. Look at the AFC. Let's look at the 5 seed, 9-4. Dolphins are at 8-5. Patriots are at 7-6. So I mean, it's still pretty much right there. But the drop off in the NFC is kind of crazy. I think we know who the top 2 teams are coming out of the NFC. I think that's probably the Eagles and the Niners right now.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as the Niners can stay healthy. I mean,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy looks pretty good right now. I'm afraid this almost feels like a Cinderella story that's just going to come crashing down.
Probably.
Yeah,
At
I was
some
kind of
point.
feeling that.
And last night on the Manning cast, it was Vinatieri or some guest. Maybe it was Bill Simmons. I can't remember. But someone brought up Brock Purdy, and they're like, how about him? You know, he's balling. And Peyton and Eli were both like, yeah.
I mean, he's not losing games. He's playing.
Like, yeah.
He's doing exactly what Jimmy G did.
I know.
And he's going out there. He's getting the ball to the playmakers, and he's letting the playmakers do the winning.
I think the Mannings were concerned that Purdy's going to get overconfident and start making mistakes, thinking he could do more than what he can against NFL defenses. As long as he just stays super safe with the ball, you can win games all day.
Well, this is perfect because this can go right into the pick for this Thursday Night Football. So
just real quick, I don't think Shanahan will let Purdy do that. I think Shanahan knows what he has in his quarterback. I think he knows that he can rein him in whenever he wants.
That's why he was successful.
He can play safe, and that's why he's been successful so far
with Garoppolo.
Well, I'm talking about with Purdy, but yeah, I mean,
I'm saying that's why he's been successful with Garoppolo for that same reason.
And so look, Purdy's not going to go out there and make the flashy plays. I don't think he's. I listen. The overconfidence is an issue that could happen if it comes up. I don't think it will come up. I think Shanahan's a good enough head coach and a good enough offensive mind and a good enough quarterback guy to be able to rein him in and give him easy throws, give him easy completions, give him easy plays to make the offense and the team look good. But like you said, their biggest concern is staying healthy because that has been really bad for the 49ers over late. And like you said, Bryson, that goes right into our picks. So let's get into our Week 15 picks. Let's look at the records. Bryson in a steady lead at 112, 72, and 2. Riley right behind him by one game, 111, 73, and 2. I have fallen off major, and I'm now tied with Jack for third place at 109, 75, and 2.
Hey, what'd I go this past week? Like 9-4?
You
did win the week.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly
Where's
what
my
you
props, bruh?
You've made a comeback. You were down 4 games.
You did win the week.
I lost Tennessee, Baltimore.
I told you
Vegas,
you should have picked the Jaguars too. I don't know why you didn't.
Tennessee, Baltimore, Vegas, and one other. I missed 4 games, so I should have gone 9-4.
Jack making a pretty steady comeback and the pick'em record. So let's get into Week 15. We'll start off with Thursday Night Football. It's the Niners and the Seahawks on Amazon Prime at 8:15. Bryson, we'll start with you as usual. Who do you got?
Give me the Seattle Seahawks in this game, just because, like you said, obviously the Brock Purdy story, awesome, incredible story, but I still don't know if he's going to do enough this week to get this win in Seattle with the 12th man, with the way they've been playing this year. And the Seahawks know this is for the division. So give me Seattle.
Yeah, the Niners have historically struggled in Seattle over the last 10 years. I actually do like Seattle in this game, and a game they know they must win. The Niners can start to feel that little, the pressure's let off right now. And I just feel like Bryson said, the 12th man's going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, the Seahawks couldn't stop the run to save their lives. Now they got to go up against Christian McCaffrey and a team that really does well in scheming up runs. There's probably going to be no Debo in this game for the Niners, as he's out with an MCL sprain and an ankle sprain. He said he will return in the regular season, but probably not going to play in this game. I think Shanahan's going to dial up some smart plays for Purdy, let him, get some easy completions. And the Seahawks, that defense is what kills me. And with the 49ers, what their identity is, I don't think the Seahawks can stop them. Give me the Niners and a close one.
The Niners have only won in Seattle twice since 2010.
Make it 3 times this week.
I'm with Joseph. I'm riding with San Francisco. I like their defense too much. If Geno Smith is going to throw 2 picks against the Carolina defense, he's going to struggle mightily against a much better San Francisco defense.
Yeah, that pass rush will probably get to Geno as well. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I have to go with San Francisco.
Moving on to the Saturday games. We'll start off with the 1 o'clock Saturday games, as we're in December. This is where the Saturday games start to show themselves. It's the Colts and the Vikings getting things started this Saturday. We'll start over with you, as Jeff Saturday is coaching his team on a Saturday, Bryson.
Yeah, very interesting. Actually, not really that interesting of a game. Let's be honest. The Vikings are going to win this by multiple touchdowns. Lock it in.
Yep. Jack?
Yeah, give me Minnesota in a big one.
Give me the Vikings. Jay Jetta's another big week coming.
Hey, if you have Dalvin Cook in your fantasy league, Start him as many times as possible.
Sweep. First sweep
sweep.
this week.
First Saturday sweep.
First Saturday sweep.
Here we go. We got the Ravens and the Browns at 4:30 on Saturday, NFL
Yeesh.
Network. All these Saturday games are on NFL Network. Bryson, we'll start with you.
The Ravens, I know that they've won the last 2 games without Lamar, but now we don't even know if they're going to have Tyler Huntley. The Browns have been looking better, even though we don't know about how Deshaun Watson is going to do. Their run game with Nick Chubb is still awesome. Give me the Browns at home.
Man, I just can't do it. Just not buying in. I think the Ravens will out physical them, and I just don't think the Browns are that good. I think they're the AFC version of the Cardinals.
Oh,
Give
they're
me
not very
Baltimore.
good. I'll tell you that. They're definitely not very good. I just think they'll win this week.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Browns in this one for 2 reasons. One, the Ravens don't have a quarterback. Lamar's probably not going to play. Tyler Huntley's probably not going to play, out with a concussion. Deshaun Watson has not looked great, but he looked a lot better last week than he did in his first week back against Houston. That Browns defense has been playing pretty well these last couple of weeks. I know they gave up 23 to Joe Burrow and the Bengals, but that's actually pretty good considering how explosive that offense is. I think the Browns will win in a close one, and this will be the Bengals' chance to take the division.
I'm riding with Cleveland. I think, yeah, without Lamar,
Whoa.
without Tyler Huntley, both of them out. Baltimore scored 17 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
16, and then they
10
have to.
against
10.
the Broncos.
10 against
Yeah.
the Broncos. Not
Yeah.
great.
If they're scoring that much with Tyler Huntley, without, I can't get behind Baltimore. I've got to go with Cleveland.
All right, moving on to the night game on Saturday. It's a divisional matchup between the Dolphins and the Bills. We'll start with you, Bryson.
Give me Buffalo in this game. They've already lost to the Dolphins once this year. Now they're at home. The Dolphins looked horrible this past weekend. So I don't think, obviously they might turn it around. I don't think they will. Bills have been looking great all season. Give me Buffalo at home.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo here. Dolphins just slipping too much right now, and Buffalo knows they have to win this game. They got revenge on the Jets. They're going to get revenge on Miami.
Listen, these two offenses are both supposed to be really good. They've played really bad the last couple of weeks. But give me Buffalo at home. I think it's going to be really cold. The Dolphins are not going to be able to compete in Buffalo in their home territory.
Yeah, Dolphins had heaters behind their bench in 55-degree weather. They're going to Buffalo. Yeah, I've got to ride with Buffalo, so that's going to make it a sweep.
32 degrees with a chance of rain at game time.
Oh, yeah. That's not.
That's like what,
as much-
sleet? Yeah.
As much as we do talk about Tyreek Hill and all that, Riley, Tyreek Hill in the cold, not
He
it.
did play at KC, so.
I guess, but still.
All right, moving on to the Sunday games. We'll start off things with Eagles, Bears. I think this one's going to be pretty easy.
Philadelphia Eagles.
All the way.
Eagles.
Sweep.
We got Falcons, Saints in an ugly, ugly game
Ugly.
for this division. Bryson.
Give me Desmond Ridder in his first ever NFL start. There's no film on him whatsoever. The Saints haven't been great. Let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Come on, Falcons. I'm picking them. I also think this is going to be a very low scoring game, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go New Orleans. They play Tampa tough. I think they keep it going. They're at home. They play well at home. Give me Saints.
Yeah, give me the Saints as well. Listen, Desmond Ridder, rookie, on a poor offensive line. Give me Andy Dalton. Give me the veteran. Give me Chris Olave over Drake London. Give me the Saints. And that defense.
I don't know if I would say Drake London over Chris Olave over Drake London, but I am going to go with New Orleans.
He's having a
I
better
think
season.
well, yeah, but look at the difference in the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Andy
or-
Dalton
or-
versus Marcus Mariota.
Andy
Wow.
Dalton's better.
What a great difference. He's playing with Patrick Mahomes out there.
I'm taking New Orleans regardless.
All right, moving on. We got the Lions going on to take the Jets at home. This one is tough to pick. Mike White, who got absolutely blasted last week, had to go to the hospital with some fractured ribs and some internal bleeding. Don't think he'll play this week against the Lions. It could be interesting.
Joe Flacco.
Could be Joe Flacco. I doubt they throw Zach Wilson back out there. I wouldn't. But Zach
Yeah,
Wilson,
right.
I wouldn't. So you could see Joe Flacco. If Mike White does try to give it a go, I don't know why they would. He's going to die if they throw him out there. But yeah, I'm gonna just assume Joe Flacco's playing. Bryson, we'll start with you.
Give me the Detroit Lions in this game. They know that they need to win this game in order to be a playoff team. I think that the coaching staff has really kind of lit a fire under them the last couple of weeks. I mean, early in the season, they looked good, but they just continue to get better. Give me Detroit.
Going Detroit. My long-term projection is that the Jets miss the playoffs. It starts now.
Give me the Lions. No Mike White, which I think is their best chance. I honestly thought Joe Flacco was their best chance. They should have turned to him first. If he does play, this game could be interesting, but I like the Lions offense much more than I like the Jets offense. Give me Jared Goff over whoever the hell the Jets start.
I love this. I love this. I love this. I'm going with Detroit too, baby.
Sweep.
Moving on, we got Steelers and the Panthers. Mitch Trubisky versus Sam Darnold in this one. Bryson, who you got?
Dude, the freaking mid-off of the week. Give me the Carolina Panthers. They've looked good the last couple weeks.
Yep, going Carolina.
Yeah,
and they're at home. So
yeah, give me the Panthers in this one. I don't trust Mitch Trubisky. Sam Darnold hasn't been throwing away games. Plus that run offense for Carolina has been working well. Give me them.
Sweep. We're going with Carolina.
Next up, we got the Cowboys and the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Cowboys coming off a tough win over the Texans. Jags coming off an impressive win over the Titans. Bryson?
Give me Jacksonville in this game. Coming off of a big win. They have the momentum. Even though Dallas won last week, I mean, they didn't play well. So I think the Jaguars got the momentum. Give me the Jags.
Wait, you're taking Jags over Dallas?
I am taking Jags over Dallas.
Oh, I was preparing to lone wolf this. Yeah, if the Jags are going to have a chance at taking the division from the Titans, I don't think they beat the Jets in Week 16. So this is a playoff game for Trevor Lawrence and those boys down in Duval.
Basically, every game is basically at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Dallas is coming to town after a bad performance against Houston. They slip up this week in Duval. Jags win.
This is the Cowboys' third straight game over an AFC South opponent. They absolutely demolished Indy. They struggled against Houston. I think they're going to have a pretty fair game against Jacksonville. Give me the Cowboys. But I would not be surprised if Jacksonville steals this one.
I wanted this to be my lone wolf. No, I'm going with Dallas. I think, I feel like the heads of the Jacksonville Jaguars are getting a little big here. They just beat the most fraudulent team in the league. And
Dude,
now people are thinking that
The Titans are the most fraudulent team in the league.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the big head thing.
Okay.
I feel like the heads are getting a little. I feel like the heads are getting a little big.
They're 5-8, Riley. What kind of big heads do you think they have?
Hey, you just beat the Titans, and you're like, yeah, it's time to win the division. Yes.
I mean,
they could look too far ahead.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like
you can't look too far ahead at 5-8, dude.
Yeah,
you can win the divisions right there. And
Yeah.
you just beat your division foe for the first time in.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening.
I have to go with Dallas.
All right. That's how that one goes. Moving on. We got Chiefs, Texans. Let's just say it.
Chiefs. Come on now.
Easy, baby.
Up next, Cardinals, Broncos. And, oh, God. This one's just...
Dude.
Is Russell Wilson going to play?
No.
If he's in concussion protocol, usually they've been holding him
And
out.
Kyler Murray isn't going to play. Dude, can we pick the winner of this game is whoever doesn't watch it. But
who are the backups? Colt McCoy.
And I don't know.
Hey, you know what?
Brett Ripien. Is it Ripien?
You know what?
Ripien.
Ooh, that sounds right.
Nah, give me freaking Colt McCoy. I used to like Colt McCoy at Texas back in the day. That's really the only thing I can go off of. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm going Arizona as well.
Weird. We're sweeping for Arizona.
Up next, we got the Patriots and the Raiders. New England, a 1-point favorite in this game. Interesting matchup right here. Bryson, who you got?
I'm gonna hate myself for doing it probably, but I think I'm gonna pick the Raiders. They're coming back home. They should have won. They should have won on Thursday night. They have a long week coming back as well. I think that'll help them out. So yeah, give me the Raiders. They got to win in order to keep their playoff hopes alive. So I think they do it at home.
No way does Bill Belichick lose to Josh McDaniels. No way. Give me the Patriots.
listen, is this considered a revenge game for Josh McDaniels?
I guess.
Revenge. I mean, I don't know. This is more like
And Brandon Bolden.
this is more like playing your master, like the protege versus the master.
I wouldn't call McDaniels the protege. Give me Bill Belichick. I think he's going to be the reason the Patriots win this game. I think it'll be close. But yeah, that's who I'm going. Patriots.
Yeah, I've got to go with the Patriots. I think they're just a better team right now. And Las Vegas, what's Bill Belichick's the biggest Bill Belichickism takeaway, like their biggest threat? I think it's obvious who the biggest threat here is. It's Devontae Adams, and you have to. I mean, with the defensive backs that the Patriots have, Jack Jones, Jonathan Jones,
Yeah,
they've both
Jalen
been
Mills.
Jalen Mills. They've all three been playing very well. I've got to go with
with
New England.
Ramondre Stevenson, he went out with an ankle injury. Obviously, Damian Harris hasn't played the past 2 weeks with a quad injury. So the Patriots might not have a running game, but I think their defense will be able to hold off that Raiders abysmal offense.
So Bryson Lone Wolf in Vegas?
Yep.
Looks like
All right, here we go. We got the Titans and the Chargers in LA at 425. Bryson.
Give me the Chargers. I don't trust Tennessee. Do not trust them whatsoever, especially not in a road game. And the defense hasn't been great. They've been banged up a little bit, especially in the secondary, stuff like that. And the D-line, which was the best part, also banged up. And Justin Herbert might throw for 350.
Bolt up, taking the Chargers. Not tightening up.
The Tennessee Titans loved playing in SoFi last year when they came out and beat the Rams on that Thursday night football or Sunday night football game. I think it was where they shocked the eventual Super Bowl winners.
When they had A.J. Brown on the team?
Yeah, but guess what? That won't happen because the Chargers are winning this one.
Oh, baby. You know what time it is. Riley is lone wolfing.
Yeah.
The first lone wolf of the season.
Second. Which is why I'm so scared, because the other time I did it, the team I picked got blown out.
It was the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, it was Carolina versus Atlanta, and Atlanta blew Carolina out. I'm going with Tennessee.
Hey,
I
Titans
love
fans.
the way that the Titans defensive backs match up against the Chargers wide receivers.
I don't at all.
I do.
What are you
What?
talking about? That's such
Hold
a
up,
bad
hold up,
matchup.
hold up.
Keenan
Guys,
Allen and
guys.
Mike
Zay
Williams
Jones
versus...
and Evan Ingram just cooked y'all's corner.
Keenan Allen washed.
No.
What are you talking about? And
Not
Mike
at all.
Williams.
Have you seen Keenan Allen make a cut?
I don't care. He's
Go
great
back,
underneath.
watch that game.
He's
Go
not going to
back
even
and watch
match up
that
with your
game.
DBs. And Mike Williams is an absolute unit right now. And you're
Mike
the most
Williams-
with
biased.
Mike
Christian
Williams-
Bolton,
I promise
not
I'm not
playing.
biased.
Come on,
I
dude.
promise I'm not. That's not.
Hey,
what
hold
I'm
up,
doing.
hold up,
I'm
hold
not
up,
doing
hold
Ball
up.
bias.
Oh,
You probably
time
think
out.
Josh
Like the
Palmer's like a
Titans.
top 10 receiver.
Hey, yo, time
I
out.
don't- Oh my god.
I'm calling a timeout right
What's
now.
your timeout?
Because you talked about whether or not Keenan Allen can make a cut. At least he attempts to make cuts, and he doesn't just block down the field like the wide receivers for the team on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you say the Titans? Who said they were the most fraudulent team? Was it you?
Me. It was me.
And then you're picking them to pick the Chargers on the road?
Interesting.
Tell me this isn't the most
2 and 2 make
Titans
5?
game.
Now I will give you that. This is a Titans game. This is the game, the type
Like,
of game that Titans
This is
win.
the weird win that
The
they
most-
just get
the
at the
most
random point of
Titans-
the season against a good team. This is that type of win that the Titans get for no reason. It's this weird Mike Vrabel gritty type of win.
I
I'm
give
going
you
with
that.
them.
I give you
Listen.
that. The most Titans thing ever would be for them to win this game and then lose to the Texans at home.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, exactly.
But
That's
guess
why I feel like that's gonna happen.
Titans have 0 wins, or they have 1 win over a team with a winning record right now. They're not getting number 2.
What
That's
was the win?
the
Commanders.
Washington.
But they weren't even.
They
They
weren't-
weren't
they were
over
under-
500 when
Yeah,
we
they were
played them.
under when we played.
Yeah,
them. And it was
Carson Wentz was
and
starting,
not
yeah.
Taylor Heineke. All right, moving on. We got the Bengals and the Bucks. Bryson.
Cincinnati. I mean, I just picked the Buccaneers as my loser. They're bad. Give me the Bengals.
This is kind of a trap game, I think, because the line is 3.5. You'd expect Cincy to be favored by more. We've seen
on the
Brady have
road.
bounce back wins at home, but I just don't see it happening with the way the Bengals are playing right now. Give me Joey B. Cincy Bengals.
This is the week the Bengals take over that division and lock themselves as the 3 seed in the AFC side of the playoffs. Give me the Bengals.
Wait, what? Oh,
They're not.
This is
It's
when-
not going to be
this
an
is when-
official lock, but this is
when
basically when they
Cincy-
overtake it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you said this is when Tampa Bay
No, Cincy.
like locks themselves in for the division. I was
Cincy.
like, and you're picking Cincy. But yeah, that's gonna be a sweep for Cincy. Easy.
All right, Sunday Night Football. It's the Giants and the Commanders. It's the redo of the tie from
so
2
excited for
weeks
this
ago.
Yeah, no, this is fun.
The winner stays in the wild card. Loser gets knocked out.
Yeah, this is basically a playoff game for both teams. And I'm
Bryson?
taking
Dude, give me a tie.
no way.
You're gonna call
I'm
it that?
kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I hope they play for the tie.
Give me
That'll be
the
fun.
Washington Commanders. Taylor Heineke is him. Let's go. Let's ride. Not Broncos country though. Just let's ride.
Washington's the better squad. They got an elite run defense right now. Saquon's not going to be able to do much. Give me Washington.
Saquon's got a neck injury he's been playing through last week. Daniel Jones has no wide receivers to throw to. That offensive line has just gotten worse and worse as the season progressed. That defense is really nothing for the Giants. Commanders, T-Mac. They got Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson in the backfield. They got Taylor Heineke, the dog himself. Like you said, one of the best defensive lines in football right now. Give me the Commanders.
Sweep for the Washington Commanders. Left hand up.
And Monday Night Football, it's the Rams and the... Shut up, Riley.
Hey. Man, that was fun.
Monday Night Football, it's the Rams and the Packers in Lambeau. Baker taking on Aaron Rodgers. Bryson?
Let's not overthink this. Let's take the Packers. I know the Packers haven't been great this year, but it's still in Lambeau. The Rams, even though I know Baker, 2 big drives at the end of the game, but we can't forget that they only had 3 points through the first 3 quarters. We can't just throw that part out.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the Rams win this game.
Yeah, I'm going the Cheeseheads in primetime in Lambeau. Give me the Pack.
The low for this game is supposed to be like 8 degrees. The high is like 24. At night in Lambeau, probably going to be some snow, if I had assumed. But neither of these offenses really impressed me at all. The Packers are going to win this game, but it's going to be pretty low scoring.
You said the Packers won?
Yeah, Packers are winning.
Sweep for the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau on Monday Night
All right.
Football.
Let's end up our week 15 predictions with our locks of the week. Let's take a quick look at the records. In first place, it's yours truly at 26-16 with another perfect week last week. That's now 5 on the season. Jack is in last place at 18-24.
Wait, what?
Bryson has overtaken you, and he's now third place at
What'd I go last
19-23.
You went 0 for 3.
How?
And Riley
You gotta have to.
is in second place, 3 games behind me at 23-19 with
Dude,
only 1 perfect week.
This is wrong. Y'all are not doing this.
You picked Kansas City minus 9.5. You picked Tennessee minus 4, and you picked Amon-Ra over 82.5
You
yards
picked Tennessee
receiving.
minus 4? I forgot
Dude,
about that.
I suck.
Yeah.
I forgot you did that.
All right, time to go 0-3 again. I'll start. Screw it. I just got to rip the Band-Aid off, right? I'm going Cincy minus 3.5. This line, I told you, Vegas is up to something, but I don't care. The Niners just blasted Tampa Bay. The Bengals have a similar explosive offense, if you want to say. And I say they beat Tom Brady by more than 3.5. And then I'm going to go. Let's see here. I just had it. The Eagles over 9, minus 9. They're going to beat the Bears by 10 or more. And then I'm going to go 3 lines if that's okay. Can I do that?
That's fine.
Those prop bets just
You said it was Philly minus 9?
yeah. And then the Vikings minus 4 against Indy.
Ooh, okay. That's
Interesting.
solid. I can go next if
All
that's
overs.
cool with you.
Yep.
So give me Miami plus 7.5 against the Bills. I think the Bills will win, but not by more than a touchdown. Give me the under in New Orleans versus Atlanta. It's at 43 right now. And I mean, when you look, it's Andy Dalton. They haven't been scoring a lot of points. New quarterback for the Falcons and everything like that. Don't think they're going to be scoring a lot of points. So I think the under in that game is a pretty good one. And then give me the Chargers money line. Don't know about the spread necessarily, but give me the money line for the Chargers at home.
All right, I'll go next. I'm going Rams on Sunday Night Football at plus 7. I don't think the Packers offense is going to outscore the Rams by that much. It's going to be cold. Not going to be a lot of offense in this game, and I think the Rams have a chance to keep it close against a struggling Packers team. I'm going to go the over in New England, Las Vegas at 44.5. I think both of those teams can score at least 23 points. I think that's pretty respectable right there. And then I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk over 48.5 receiving yards on Thursday Night Football. No Deebo Samuel. He's going to be wide receiver 1. And like I said, the Seahawks defense not been very great so far this season. I think he's going to ball out.
Yeah, I'm going to get a little funky with mine this week. I'm going with 3 player props. Going with a couple of quarterback unders. Matt Ryan under 248.5 yards passing. Josh Allen under 302.5 yards from scrimmage. And then I'm going to take Travis Kelce over 75.5 yards receiving against that putrid Houston defense.
All right.
I like that last one.
Those are our locks of the week. Any final thoughts for week 14 and heading into week 15?
No, I love that Saturday games are coming. That warms my heart. I will be going back home for the holidays this upcoming week. So watching football with my family on a Saturday, a triple header, it just doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, excited for this week. Lots of good games coming up, as always. So very excited for the NFL.
Right?
How heartwarming, Jack.
Thank
I'm
you.
doing the same thing.
I mean,
We're going home, watching some football with dad and little brother. It's going to be great.
It brings a smile to my face, man. Even like hearing your story, it's just like, it's a great time of year.
He said, even when Riley's involved, it still warms my heart, is what Jack just said.
Yeah.
Look, the mid-December games all the way through the Super Bowl, it's just great time for football. Because, you just got football every weekend here on out.
Cracker Barrel put on the games?
Oh, I'll have it on my phone.
Yeah, on phone?
I'll have it on my phone.
So you're on your phone while you're making people's food. That's what we're hearing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a health code violation.
I'm not touching my phone. It's up on my phone. All right. This has been this week's edition of Cover 4. Like and share to get all past and future episodes. For Bryson, Jack, Riley, I'm Joseph, and this has been another episode of the Cover 4 podcast. Peace out.